Game 2 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals was completely out of control. We have the newest choke of the NHL playoffs that saw Vegas fumble away a chance to take a 2-0 lead in this series. And that made Carolina the first team since the 1944 Canadiens to win a Stanley Cup final game after trailing by multiple goals in the final 10 minutes of regulation. So how the hell did Carolina pull this off? How will this affect Vegas? And what does it mean for this series moving forward? Let's break it all down, shall we? And let's start with what makes playoff hockey both beautiful and ugly all at the same time. Ehlers steps right into this clapper, gets all of it, and it catches Brayden McNabb right in the jibs. Not just partially. No, he eats this puck for dinner right in the mouth. This is a crazy angle of it. Just boom, wham, right in the teeth. The guy's a warrior. The legs still work, and he skated off on his own, went right to the room. Vegas is down a defenseman, but it's not going to change how they play. Now, hopefully, you've seen our playoff breakdowns, and you know just how much these teams are using that high flip in their own end to just get it out and create a 50-50 down ice. It's a staple. Both teams use it to take a shot every time you see them do it in a game. You'll be unconscious by the end of the first. This starts with guess who? Mitch Marner on the wall. The message for each team is if you got pressure and don't have an instant option, high flip that shit out of there, because both teams are going to have at least one guy skating at the puck. So Marner with the Hail Mary, he sends it to the moon, and who's in the end zone? It is Brett Howden. He wins the 50-50 and goes low glove. How are you on Mr. Anderson? Vegas strikes first and silences the Carolina crowd. They're up 1-0 going into the second, and we're going to sound like a broken record here, but just after a Carolina kill, Hanifin says, screw it, it worked on goal one. Let's do it again, shall we? It's another high flip cross ice to Barbashev, and coming down Main Street like Connor McDavid is Brett Howden again. Wayne Gretzky. Carolina is a bit disorganized holding their line because they just got the full strength and the C's part at the blue line. Howden has the outside track. Jacob Slavin, who's one of the best defensemen in the world, tries to angle him off. He gets that bottom hand out to fend off the stick check, drives with that outside leg, and Howden goes around Freddie for the tuck. Are you kidding me? Who the hell does this guy think he is? He's leading the playoffs with his 13th goal of the postseason. This guy had 12 goals in the regular season. He was saving them all for the playoffs indeed. Vegas takes a 2-0 lead, and the pressure is all on Carolina. They cannot go down 2-0 in this series and go on to the road against Vegas. But it wasn't promising because they weren't giving them much. They were stifling the Hurricanes on the interior as, again, Vegas just shut down the house and did not allow those second and third chances. But then there's one shift in the third period that just completely flipped this game. And before we get to it, we're going to thank our friends over at SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. Guys, with SeatGeek, all of your ticketing needs from the NHL playoffs to the NBA, MLB, and even World Cup tickets are taken care of. The #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek has over 70,000 listed events that you can choose from. For years now, I've been using it exclusively to find the best tickets for every game or event I go to. With the app, I can browse seating, search for tickets, and get the very best deals. Every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee, so once you buy your ticket, you're ready to rock. Right now, you can get 10% off any tickets by downloading the SeatGeek app and using promo code HOCKEY2026. All you have to do is just click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account to use at any time. So get started, use the code, and enjoy your next game on a great deal using SeatGeek. Now, getting into the shift that changed the tide of this game, it's around 10 minutes in the third, and it's finally when Carolina's 2-3 offensive system starts to expose that zone coverage of Vegas. You got to expose that space between the center and the winger. Canes get that high forward near the blue line, and eventually Vegas stretches out. They find a seam, Vegas gets chasing, and it creates multiple good chances that shift the momentum into Carolina's favor here. Now, the Hurricanes, they just keep sticking to their game and trusting the process, so face off in Vegas' end. They're going to win the draw, and this is all Stankoven, the stanky leg, with pure heart and determination. He's the smallest guy in Carolina. He's 5'8" on a good day, maybe 5'9" when he stands on his wallet after this postseason, and he puts on a checking clinic. He gets his stick on one side to force Anderson to turn, then Stankoven gets the body in there, strips him of the puck, goes around the net. It bounces off of Lozon and in. Holy, what a shift. Good things happen when the process is right, and that gets the building rocking as now the lead is down to 1. 2 minutes later, it's time for you to take another shot because we're going to see it again. Robinson facing pressure in his own end. What do? You high flip that shit out of the zone and create a 50-50. And look at this effort from William Carrier. He's got a Golden Knight on his back. He says, I put the team on my back. Shout out Greg Jennings, and he just taps this over to Jankowski, coming in alone. Ping, fries are done. He goes bar down on Carter Hart to tie this one up. Hurricanes fans are losing their minds, and rightfully so. 2 dog efforts from individuals to get them back in this game, and then it just gets nuts from this point on. Take a look at Jacob Slavin here. He's ready to airmail this thing and do what both teams have been doing all night long with the high flips, but Barbashev, last second, gets his stick on it, creates a turnover. He's all alone, and it is panic at the disco time for Carolina. Freddie stops the first one. Slavin is still shitting his pants trying to get back. He's laying on the ice. Barbashev gets his own rebound, goes for the wraparound, but Fred X delivers a paddle the size of Carolina itself to make the save, and poor Slavin, he had his stick kicked away, so now everyone is digging at it, and so is it in? Is it in? No. Ref says no. Not a good goal, but the puck is in the net, so that's confusing. Barbashev is like, no, man, that went in. So John Tortorella makes a ballsy call. He decided to challenge this no-goal decision. Okay, so let's get Gary on line 1. They review it, and they determine that the puck was jammed in, and they call it no goal. The fans love it, and John Tortorella, all he can do is just smile because he's envisioning chucking a stick at the ref's head right now. Of course, he can't do that, and so it's a double whammy as they now have to go on the penalty kill due to losing the challenge. Carolina's power play hasn't been great in these playoffs, but they have a chance to flip the script here, and here's how they do it. The Hurricanes run a 1-3-1 power play, so other than the flank one-timer options, the reason why the 1-3-1 can be very effective with a good threat from the point is because if executed correctly, you can create 2 layers of traffic for the goalie to try and see through, and that is exactly what they do here. The first layer is Aho. He's presenting himself as an option for that high tip if they want to use it, and obviously the second, the most effective one, is Jordan Staal. He's got that big caboose right in Carter Hart's kitchen. He's looking left around his body. If he peeks right, he sees Aho, who's likely in the way also, and this is a fantastic play by Gostisbehere. This is great awareness. He's shooting for the layers. The Vegas D goes to tie up the stick of Aho, and that leaves the captain all alone, and he is today's Tippy Longstocking right in front. Carolina has come all the way back to take the lead. What a third period, but it isn't over. Vegas is going to get one last push with the goalie pulled, and this is a key battle along the wall here as Vegas is actually able to win it and get the numbers advantage because Carolina is at the very end of a penalty kill. It goes to Mitch Marner, who's a part-time defenseman himself, and this is the patience of a monk. He walks the middle, pump fake, takes some ice, and then a fadeaway flick into the muck. Freddie goes to punch it out. It goes off of Mark Stone and into the net. Can you believe it? With 1 minute and 23 seconds left, they tie the game up. This series is on crack, and anyone who said it would be boring, you got to take a lap after this one, pal, because this one is going to overtime, and both of these teams are undefeated in OT in these playoffs. 4 minutes in, though, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle himself, the hero of Game 1, goes to get a stick in and takes a tripping penalty. This guy might be walking home if they get scored on, and Carolina is going to go back to the well here. They work it up to the point, and look at Ehlers come off the line and scoot into that bumper area to be the extra layer of traffic. At this point, if you look at Hart, it is the opposite of the first power play goal. He can see past the caboose of Staal, but now he can't see Gostisbehere at the point because Ehlers is in the way. And so when the Hurricanes make this pass, Hart has no clue. He loses sight of it. And also, this is some shady car salesman stuff from Gostisbehere. No look feed. He sells the shot, gives it over to Jarvis, and bang, it is perfect. Hart is late to the pass, and it's a one-time winner as Carolina takes an electric Game 2 in overtime to tie this series. They become the first team since 1994 to win a Stanley Cup final game after trailing by multiple goals in the final 10 minutes of regulation. Insanity. Now, let's debrief this because this was a big goal for Seth Jarvis and one that Carolina desperately needed from him because the top line of Svechnikov, Aho, and Jarvis had been struggling up until this point. It's been a story all playoff long, but in the 14 games, Jarvis has the most points with 8. That's how good Carolina's depth has been, especially that second line of Blake, Hall, and Stankoven. But in a series like this, you need your top guys to produce. We have talked about Carolina's transition to become a more rush-oriented team this season, and it has paid off. And throughout the year, it has been that top-line specialty. When it came to rush offense in this season, all three guys on that top line ranked in the 95th percentile or higher league-wide. So what has Vegas done? They've gone right to the head of the snake when it comes to zone entries and entries with possession. And that is they've gone after Seth Jarvis, who ranks the highest in this category. And so Vegas has put a real emphasis on getting aggressive with Jarvis at the Vegas blue line. They know that Carolina wants him to headman the puck on this line. And so their D are willing to surf onto the other side of the ice if they have to close off that space and force him to make a pass here. Svechnikov has some room, but he's just not as dynamic of a playmaker as Jarvis is off the rush, and Vegas with their layers take care of business. Now, even when Jarvis does get some open space, the overall size and range of the Vegas D is giving Jarvis a hard time when trying to facilitate anything one-on-one. And again, Vegas has a layer of protection in the off chance that he does break through. By doing this, they have cut off the preferred method in which the Hurricanes' top line wants to generate offense. But in this one, Coach Rod Brind'Amour made an adjustment, and it paid off. Carolina has rarely changed up their lines this season, but in this one, he made the switch after seeing how Vegas handled that first line. In this game, he put Martinook with Aho and Svechnikov and placed Jarvis with Ehlers and Stahl, and it shook things up very nicely. It was actually the Stahl line that had that one shift in the third that changed the tides of this game halfway through. And so it ends up being one hell of an adjustment by Rod the Bod himself. As for Vegas, this one was a little bit of an implosion. For 50 minutes of this game, they were the better team. They had a chance to go up 2-0 in this series with a 2-0 lead, and they squandered it. John Tortorella was asked after the game if he had any regrets about challenging the call, and he said he would do it 10 times out of 10. And so now this series shifts back to Vegas for Game 3, with it being all tied at 1. So, what surprised you? Who pissed you off about these games? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I'm Anthony from Hockey Psychology. We do all the breakdowns on this channel, and if you want to see more just like this, check out any of the videos here and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single thing.